So this is going to be one of those times where the video is going to antiquate itself in real time. We've got an existing price run for gold and we've got an emergent threat. Oh, and it's a Friday. So get ready for some price movement. So I don't really know where to start this. Gold is up 3.5% for the week. Doesn't really seem like the lead. We've got an emergent threat in the Middle East. Come back to that. Gold is at $2,412 as I'm recording this. Maybe that's the better place to start. Now, I mentioned having a little bit of a deja vu ping in the back of my brain. Well, it's starting to move to the front. Now, none of the conditions leading to the run in 2011 are the same as we're seeing today, but the short version of what happened 13 years ago was price momentum attracting interest, that adding more momentum. It's kind of an upward spiral. It's the quantum mechanics behind a black hole, I think. Now, I'm sure we're going to be seeing headlines like war, and I'm really going to try to not do that here because there's a lot more going on, and it really feels like the ride in gold price is just getting started. Before we get into it, though, if you're looking for gold or silver, check out SD Bullion. New buyers even get gold or silver for spot. That's sdbullion.com/new. So yesterday, that was Thursday, I said we hadn't found a top for gold, 2,360-ish. That didn't act like a top. Gold didn't bounce off of it, didn't have a big pullback like we typically see for those short-term tops. Now, background, I'm no analyst, definitely not a professional trader, but if you watch gold or probably any other asset long enough, you start to see patterns in price discovery. And one of those patterns is a significant pullback from a top. So if we see a price of $2,365 and then gold price falls to $2,345, on a day with bad news for that asset, well, that $20 drop is not a significant pullback. And you can bet that $2,365 is not the top. Well, that would have been a really good bet yesterday because as we're looking at gold right now, well, now it's at $2,416. Gained 4 since I started this. And if you're used to watching, say, Bitcoin any given Thanksgiving or in the months following a halving, 3% or it's probably 3.5% now might not seem exciting to you. But a 3.5% gain in a week for gold, it's not normal. Last year's 14% gain wasn't normal. In 2024, 17.5% and counting gain that we're seeing right now is not normal. So when things aren't normal, and I'm talking about in a good way in terms of asset price, we typically see a pile-on. And I think that was the point from, 2 videos back. Now, some of this feels like activity creating activity, like that sun's gravity increasing its mass, creating more gravity. Maybe the quantum physics guys and girls can explain the math of that in the comments. Tell me if I'm right. But in gold's case, it's pretty clear. People see gold price increasing, they want in. So if we're trying to figure out what's going on with gold today, we have this emergent threat of Iran attacking Israel. Markets are closed on the weekends, so regardless of what happens, investors pour into gold just in case. But prior to that news, the mystery price mover was still there. I've mentioned central bank buying, and from my layman's seat, it has just seemed that that was giving gold enough price growth to make the asset look like it's just been doing really well. Regardless of what else was going on, it just kept going up. Well, add this Fed rate cut hope rally, a regional war or two, and now gold is pushing all-time highs over and over until it hits that critical point. Let's call it 2,300, where news outlets start picking up on it. Why is gold at record highs? How to benefit from gold's high price? Costco selling, $200 million of gold in a month? Whatever it is, it's intriguing. Now, the price to watch was $2,400 before the new news. So if we were to see price of gold close convincingly above $2,400 without any strong macro news compelling the spike, then we once again would have said we had not found a short-term top. It would have still been in price discovery, and we were there before this new news. So for a little while, it's going to be hard to see the actual movement below the new factor. Well, next week has something else going on. We've got the Bitcoin halving, and normally halving gains take a little while to set in, but with the ETF approvals we've just seen, this limited quantity of Bitcoin becomes more important, at least hypothetically. The event itself, it's going to get a lot of attention, especially this time. Now, normally I don't say Bitcoin steals attention from gold, but next week, Bitcoin's going to be in the spotlight. And even though these two assets, they're very different, you're probably saying that to yourself right now, they share a little bit of a purpose as a hedge against traditional currencies. So that'll be the next thing to watch with gold. If gold does pull back because it's missing some of that spotlight, really that would make sense as safe haven interest going into speculation. If gold doesn't pull back, though, even with the Bitcoin halving event, well, we're really witnessing something wild going on with gold. So next week's performance aside, gold is on a tear. It has been on a tear, and it looks like it's going to be on a tear for a while to come. Now, the big event that we've been waiting on, this Fed rate policy pivot, the rate cuts, has not happened yet. And that's going to be big momentum for gold. So this looks like a big year for gold. We've been saying that, I know. And let's not forget about silver. A few videos back, I said something like silver's finally making a move. It made some people mad, but hey, it has been doing nothing. All of a sudden it is. So with silver making a noteworthy run as well, the whole category feels more active. So I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Like I said, we have the halving next week, and who knows, probably some other surprise news. Surprise news seems to be less of a surprise these days, but there's a lot to pay attention to with gold price. Some of it's going to be clues to what happens the rest of the year. Some of it's just run-of-the-mill exciting. So let's call it good there. It's probably time to update our price prediction. So let us know where you think we go from here. What's next? 2,500 and beyond? Or do we go back to 2,300 and pull back? It's kind of crazy to think that 2,300 doesn't even feel likely. But let us know what you think. Also, this happened and a little bit faster than I expected, which is probably good because this spot price run has actually thrown a wrench into the giveaway plan. Something that's just weird. Tax requirements are a strange thing. Anyway, I will have new details coming soon. So be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to see more on the topic, you want to hear about that giveaway. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.